What if, tomorrow morning, money stopped working? Not disappear, just failed. Your cash would still exist. Your bank balance would still show numbers. But no one would accept it. ATMs would stop responding. Stores would refuse to sell. Promises written on paper would suddenly mean nothing. Most people believe money is the foundation of society, that without it, everything collapses into chaos, violence, anarchy, and the end of order. But history tells a far more uncomfortable story, because money has failed, before again and again, and every time it failed, something else quietly took its place. So the real question is not what collapses when money fails. The real question is what survives. Money feels permanent, solid, reliable, but money is not food. It is not water. It is not shelter. Money is an agreement, a shared belief that a symbol has value. For most of human history, that agreement did not exist, and even after money was invented, it is repeatedly broken down. Empires rose on currency and collapsed when trust in that currency disappeared. From ancient Rome to medieval China, from Weimar Germany to modern Venezuela, from wartime economies to natural disasters, the pattern is always the same. Money fails, people panic, systems freeze, and then, quietly, something older reemerges. Long before coins, banks, or paper notes, humans survived without money at all. Early societies were built on relationships, reputation, and reciprocity. If you hunted, you shared. If you gathered, you contributed. If you protected the group protected you. Value was measured in usefulness, not numbers. This wasn't charity, it was survival logic. If one person hoarded resources, the group weakened. If the group weakened, everyone behaved. Trust was not moral, it was practical. This system worked for tens of thousands of years. Then populations grew. Trade expanded. Groups became too large for personal trust alone. That is when money appeared, not as wealth, but as a shortcut for trust. Money allowed strangers to cooperate. A coin said someone else had already contributed value, and you could accept it. As societies grew, money enabled long-distance trade, large cities, complex economies, and empires. For a time, money looked unstoppable. But here is the twist. Money only works as long as people believe it will work tomorrow. The moment that belief cracks, money does not weaken. It vanishes. Every monetary collapse follows the same chain of events. First, too much money is created. Then, money drifts away from real value like food, labor, and production. Then trust erodes. Prices rise. Savings evaporate, the wages fall behind survival. And finally, rejection begins. People stop trusting money not because they want to, but because they must. History gives brutal examples. In Weimar Germany, people used banknotes as firewood. In Zimbabwe, trillion-dollar bills could not buy bread. In Venezuela, salaries became meaningless within weeks. Money still existed, but it no longer functioned. What followed was not immediate chaos. When money fails, three things disappear. Quickly: savings, salaries, and institutions. But three other things appear just as fast: barter, community networks, and informal trust systems. People do not stop needing food. They do not stop needing safety. They do not stop needing each other. Neighbors trade skills. Farmers exchange food directly. Doctors treat patients for favors, not fees. In war zones, refugee camps, and disaster areas, the same pattern repeats. Money fails. Human cooperation returns. Not because people suddenly become good, but because cooperation works. Governments often respond the same way. They print more money. They freeze prices. They threaten punishment. But money cannot be forced back into existence. If people do not trust it, no law can revive it. Price controls create shortages. Forced acceptance creates black markets. Crackdowns push trade underground. Every failed fix teaches the same lesson. You cannot command belief. You cannot order trust. Money only works when people choose to believe in it. Here is the part most people miss. When money fails, society does not reset to zero. It resets to something older. Across every collapse, three things always survive. Skills. People with practical skills remain valuable: farmers, builders, mechanics. Skills do not inflate. Relationships. Those with strong community ties survive better. Isolation becomes dangerous. Connection becomes currency. and trust. Not abstract trust, but personal trust. Reputation matters more than wealth. These are not emotional ideas. They are survival mechanisms. They existed long before money and outlive it every time. Now look at the modern world. Money feels digital, abstract, infinite, but the warning signs are familiar. Global debt is higher than ever. Currencies are created faster than real goods. Most people live paycheck to paycheck. Studies showed that more than 60% of people would face serious hardship within 30 days if income stopped. That is not a money problem. That is a resilience problem. We optimized for efficiency, not survival. We traded skills for specialization, communities for convenience, relationships for transactions. Money fills the gap until it does not. Every generation believes money has evolved beyond collapse. Coins became paper. Paper became digital. Digital became numbers on screens. But the form changes, not the weakness. Money is only as strong as trust, production, and social stability. Remove any one of these, and money fails. And when it does, humans do not invent something new. They return to what always worked. So it survives when money fails. Not wealth, not status, not institutions. What survives is human connection, practical value, and mutual dependence. Money is temporary. Society is not. The irony is painful. We built money to avoid depending on each other. But when money fails, dependence is exactly what saves us. Here are the lessons. History keeps repeating. Money is a tool, not a foundation. Confusing the two creates fragility. Skills, relationships, and trust are inflation-proof. They survive every collapse. Resilience is social, not financial. Those embedded in communities survive longer than those with numbers alone. The question is not if money will fail somewhere again. It always does. The real question is this. When it does, what will you have left? Skills? People? Trust? Or just numbers that no longer mean anything? If this story made you question how survival truly works, then remember this. Understanding what survives collapse may be more valuable than anything money can buy. Even when money collapses, certain things remain unshakable. People still wake up hungry, still seek shelter, still need to protect their families. In those moments, skills become the real currency how to hunt. Cook, grow food, repair tools, build shelter, or tend the sick. Knowledge passed down through generations becomes priceless because it cannot be printed or digitally transferred. Communities naturally reorganize around contribution, trust, and survival. Leadership shifts, not by election or wealth, but by wisdom, courage, and usefulness. Elders guide, not because of authority, but because experience has earned respect. Children learn by observing, by copying, by repeating tasks, and through storytelling. Time becomes immediate. There is no delay between action and consequence. Fear sharpens senses, but it also strengthens cooperation. People who isolate themselves become weak, while those who work together thrive. Relationships turn into life. A neighbor's skill, a friend's knowledge, a relative's protection. All of these are more valuable than any coin or banknote. Even in scarcity, rituals persist. Simple meals shared, small ceremonies, communication through gestures, songs, or cave markings. Nature itself becomes a teacher. The seasons, animal migrations, rainfall, and winds dictate survival, forcing humans to adapt rather than resist. Art and culture, though primitive, arise naturally as humans mark their existence and achievements, leaving stories for future generations. Emotions, often hidden in modern life, are raw and visible. Fear, joy, grief, and hope will drive behavior and decision-making. Even the concept of ownership is fluid. Tools, food, and shelter are shared according to need, not claim. And yet, despite hardship, humans find moments of beauty. Firelight dancing on faces, laughter echoing among the group, songs sung into the night, stories told beside flames. These intangible elements, skills, relationships, trust, adaptability, and culture form the true foundation of survival. Without money, these survive, evolve, and spread. Modern humans, surrounded by digital numbers and instant transactions, have largely forgotten these truths. Yet, when financial systems falter, these ancient instincts reemerge. People return to barter, community support, skill sharing, and informal networks. The tools change, the environment changes, but human adaptability and cooperation remain timeless. Money fails, banks collapse, currencies devalue, and yet those who rely on skills, relationships, and trust endure. In the end, it is not the wealth you accumulate that saves you, but the human connections, knowledge, and resourcefulness you carry. The most important question then becomes, if tomorrow the numbers on your screen lose all meaning, what will truly survive? Will it be your abilities, your allies, your wisdom, or just empty figures in a ledger? Understanding this is the key to building resilience, both in history and in the modern world.